Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the mid-October version of Topic Time with Harrison Young. It's still a beautiful afternoon out, another great fall day, and I have an awesome guest in here tonight. She's not only a returning guest, she's my sister-in-law, and she's done a lot of cool stuff, and we'll get to her in a minute, but I got to read these great underwriters first, and then we will proceed with the show per usual. So, we got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington. We got Royal Pizza in Rainham, they do deliver. We got Lynch's Auto Cycle Truck Center and Towing in Brockton. They get two numbers, one for towing, one for other projects. We got Big Lee's Automotive in Abington. We got Mario's Quality Roofing and Siding and Windows in Stoughton. We got Easton Fitness right here in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got T. Martini and Son Floor Covering in Abington. No job is too big or too small. We got Dog U Boutique, all breed professional grooming in Brockton, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell. We got Speedy Oil Change in Abington. We got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. I want to thank you guys very much. So on that note, I will introduce my sister-in-law, JoAnne Young. And before we actually start the show officially with an interview, I just want to say huge congratulations to you and my brother Evan on your 16th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Sweet 16th.
Thank you, Harrison. Thank you so much. Yes.
So I don't have to put anything schmaltzy on Facebook. Well, I still might, but I mean, at least now, I didn't forget.
Right.
It's been an amazing run, 16 years, incredible. I remember your brother Woody was the best man, I was the worst. So,
No.
But that's awesome. I mean, pretty awesome, 16 years, and congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so you're still in Eastern Night. You've been here for about the same amount of time. You've been married to my brother, and it's lovely. It's a great town. And tell me about, you're a Reiki master. That's something I didn't mention a minute ago. When I had you on, I remember the last time I had you on at the very first location, August 31st, 2011, in Marshfield.
Yeah.
We were going live. We got 8 calls.
That was great.
It was great. It proved it because I thought you would arrange them, and I said, of all the calls we got, you only arranged one. So it proved people were watching us, and you did help a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that phone system over there was so substandard, I couldn't even hear half the calls.
Right.
But fortunately, where you were sitting, you could. And you brought a client with you, and you did some readings with her.
That was good.
So since that time, 9 years has elapsed. We've all moved on in our fields of work and stuff, and I'm doing very well with the show. So tell me about update me now about what you're doing with Reiki and with public speaking, and obviously you teach meditation to some degree.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
I mean, we all know what you were like growing up. I usually ask my guests that, but we don't need to know that because everybody who sees the show knows that, and they just want to know what you've accomplished in your career as a Reiki master. And
Sure.
So go ahead, talk about that and what other things.
First, can I just add this? I just want to say, I heard you say Royal Pizza in Rainham.
What?
They have the best salad dressing ever. You can purchase it there too. It's so good. So I just
We're
want
not doing an ad, but that's fine.
I just want to give that plug out to
Okay,
Royal
that's cool.
Pizza because I haven't been there in so long, but they have the best salad dressing. So,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
if I
good.
ate salads, I try some.
Yeah, good for everyone to know
Okay,
that.
well, that's an
That's an
not the
aside.
opinion of the station, that's my guess, that's fine, okay.
Yeah. So, so I started off.
I agree with you, but that's your opinion, okay.
Yeah. So on this journey, I started off, on my spiritual journey, I seemed like I just kind of started becoming intuitive. I think I was intuitive as a child. I kind of put those gifts to the side, stopped noticing it, didn't do anything with it. And then one day, your mother gave me a gift certificate. It was probably in my early 30s to go see this woman named Leslie Kane. Do you remember Leslie Kane?
Well, I remember the year because it was 2007 and it was when Jason was born.
Yeah, it was before that.
It
no,
was?
long before that.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay,
so
no.
I was like 31, so it was maybe like 2000.
Oh, okay, it would have been, then if you were 31, it would have been 2001.
Yeah,
so
it was early 2000,
Yeah, yeah.
2001. I was actually still doing my guidance internship, and so she gave me this gift certificate to go see Leslie Kane.
Leslie Kane.
Yeah, and so when I went to see Leslie Kane, I didn't know what she did. I thought she was going to do some kind of a psychic reading or something, but she did Reiki. So I went into her home, laid on the table, she did Reiki, and it was the most peace I've ever felt in my life was that day.
Okay.
So from that point
Where
on,
was this location? What town?
Leslie was in Kingston at that time.
Kingston, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started working with Leslie regularly. I started seeing her, every 2 weeks for probably a few years, and I started studying with her. And then my gifts sort of became open again. I started being able to read people, and I just became intuitive. It was just like something I had that just sort of opened up again.
Okay.
Which is great. And I did, then I started using that gift to do work. So I started seeing clients. I became a Reiki
All right,
master.
hold up a second. Hold up. We got to break this down a little
Okay.
bit. Because first of all, I know, I mean, I'm not a Reiki master by any stretch, but I know you have to be certified, and I know it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
So what were the steps that you had to go through to get to the point where you're at now, going from when you had that first reading with Leslie
Yep.
to just even going forward maybe a couple of years? What did you have to do?
So I took two Reiki 1 and 2 with Leslie, and then I moved on to do Reiki master and master teacher.
Okay.
And then I became a Reiki master teacher, so I could teach other people to do it.
Exactly. And how long did all this take?
It was over a course of a few years. Probably started the process in about 2001. I think I became a Reiki master teacher in probably 2005 or 6.
Okay.
So a few years,
So you had already, because I remember you were working at Southeastern as a guidance counselor at
Yeah.
Southeastern Regional, the
Yep.
high school.
Yep.
So you eventually, when you took a maternity leave from that's when you decided to just go full-time Reiki master?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's I have my degree in counseling and I
Okay.
have my doctorate in counseling. So I do a lot of counseling work
Okay.
along with Reiki and the intuitive. It's all I put it all into a package kind
Okay.
of. So when you're an intuitive, sometimes people just want information about is this person going to marry me? Am I going to hear from this guy? They want that type of information, which
Okay.
is great. But I don't think it's long-term healing for people,
Right.
or is it not? It's not empowering to others either.
Okay.
So my work shifted a lot from that type of work, which is still okay. There's nothing wrong with that if you need that information or you can access it. My dream is to really empower people with their own strength and to really get them to see they really have everything they need within them. They
Okay.
don't need me, So I wanted to help people heal. Get whatever they need to see their own strength so they can move forward. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I moved on from.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Now, I remember on the date of, I believe it was December 2nd, 2007. You brought someone over to my parents' house. And you brought Jason when he was exactly 7 months old, and I think this had to do with your transformation into being a Reiki master because it was a pretty big deal. I don't know exactly what it was, but that might have been Leslie who was there.
It was actually Rita Berkowitz.
Okay.
So she did Jason's blessing.
Right.
She kind of brought Jason. Yeah. So that was Rita.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was one of my mentors and teachers also.
I understand.
Yep.
Okay, so the deal with you is now with Reiki is that people want answers like what does the future hold? But you're not a fortune teller.
Right.
There's a huge difference between what you do and telling the future.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to get people to relax and be in one with the spirit world by touching them or whatever and giving them getting their chakras up. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. So what I call Reiki is sort of like a massage with your clothes on. So I'm not actually touching anybody's bodies.
Really?
Not even touching their clothes. No.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No. Lots of Reiki masters do that. I don't. I just kind of go above and move the energy.
Okay.
And it helps people relax. It helps people with their physical. It helps mental, emotional, spiritual. It's kind of just like a clearing of your energy field. Just an example. So I just had a client right before I came here.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we talk, for about 15 minutes about what's happening in her life, what she needs, what she'd like to kind of get from the session. We do a little counseling work too. And then I do about 15, 20 minutes of Reiki. And then we wrap it up at the end with like some, whatever I feel is intuitive to me that she needs to move forward or anything that she needs to kind of clear the blocks that she may feel she has or whatever. It's
Okay.
different with everybody. And it's about an hour session. And then you kind of wrap it up again with more counseling and then
Okay,
That's
you
it.
do this out of your home now, right?
Yes.
Out of your house.
Mhm.
That's awesome. And you have enough
Yeah.
room. Jason's old enough now so he doesn't get in the way, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
Yeah.
So tell me about now. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. You're also a public speaker too. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna remind you of something I can recall that about sometime around like 2008 or 9. You had the opportunity to possibly work for QVC presenting merchandise on a
Yes,
TV network.
Forgot about that. Yes.
Well, yeah, but you would have had to move, the caveat was you would have had to move to Pittsburgh.
Right.
You could
Right.
have gotten and you couldn't have met Mr. Rogers because he had died before that, as great as he
Right.
was. So tell me about, did that lead to what, so you never really did that, but tell me about what your public speaking deal is. What's all that?
Didn't you make that video for me?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. That's so funny. Yeah, so, okay, here's the deal with my speaking. I didn't just start speaking. I've been speaking for almost 30 years. I was
Right.
on the public speaking and debating team in college, so I
Okay.
was always
What
speaking.
colleges did you go to?
I went to Bridgewater.
You did?
Yep. Yep.
I got my book published.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
And then, so right after college, my first job was as a presenter. I worked for a small family-owned school, and I went into schools and I did presentations in the classroom
Okay.
or to auditoriums. And then I took a break from that and went to become a guidance counselor. And then I sort of went back into speaking again when I worked for another small family-owned school. Same company, they owned 2 different schools, and I worked for them again, doing the same speaking.
Okay.
Then I just branched it off into my own thing with Stress Less for Student Success, because I feel like students really need help with their stress. They need to know they're not alone. They need some coping skills. So I took all the stuff that I've learned as a guidance counselor, as a presenter, and just put it into a package for students.
Of course, the more, and obviously
Yeah.
the more multifaceted you are, the more, the more people are going to be in tune with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Adults too,
go ahead,
though.
Go ahead.
So
You tell me what you took.
I speak to adults too. So I do a lot of adult audiences too, on stress or techniques to live your best life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where do you go? Where do you go to do make these speeches? Just
Well, before
schools,
COVID, before COVID, it was schools, colleges,
right, obviously.
conferences. I've spoken at a lot of conferences.
Wow.
Now it's virtual. So
Okay.
I've done a lot of Zoom presentations recently, which has been great. I mean, it's not quite the same because you're not sure of the reaction. Sometimes you can see, and I try to engage the audience on Zoom, but sometimes it's hard to see if someone's not showing
That's
up.
right. You can't tell. You get a
Yeah.
better idea of other people's attention span if you can see them. I totally
Yeah.
understand that. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, eventually you're going to be. Are you still right now? You can't go back to doing public speaking in public and with 6 feet of distancing in
Yeah.
any locations now. It's still not up yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
Still trying to do virtual. I'm still trying to get myself out there as much as I can with doing virtual presentations.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome. But it's obvious that you're quite established. Have you now? But I'm just trying to think if there's obviously a blessing in under every dark cloud. So what I'm going to ask you is, have you ever been able to do Zoom speeches to people like around the world from?
Yeah.
I know that different countries or even just different parts of the U.S.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. People can tune in from anywhere. That's
Yes.
kind of the value and benefit of it. Even if you do it at a different time frame and it's recorded. A lot of
Right.
the work that I do is, well, all of it's been recorded. So anyone that's involved in the conference or the program, the schools that I've spoken to, they can watch it anytime.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, we're now going to watch a little clip of JoJo's work, and we'll be right back.
I know what it's like to be where you are. That's the first thing I want you to get about me, and that's what changed my life. That was the beginning of all that I learned to help myself, help others, see a different way to live. See the joy in your everyday living. Be the person you want to be in the workplace. Be the person that you want to be in your family life. So you are the person that's responsible for your energy and the way that you're being in the world. Make it the best that you can. I hope that you take 1 or 2 things that we learned here today and use them in your everyday life. I promise you, if you do, you will see a shift and change very quickly. I appreciate your time today. It's been an honor being with you. Thank you.
Oh, that was awesome. Tell me about it. Go ahead.
That was
Yeah,
was
yeah.
my speaker. That was my part of my Live Your Best Life. I did that at a conference.
Okay.
And
Where?
that was in right outside. No, that was actually in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where in New Hampshire? Just at a speaking hall somewhere, a town hall
Yeah,
up there?
it was an auditorium in New Hampshire. I honestly can't even remember what city it was in.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a great day, and I had a friend there doing the videotaping and all of the editing for me, so I was able to get a good little chunk from that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that is pretty good. So, are you ever going to possibly, in the future, is down the road, maybe go back to doing, guidance counseling at schools eventually? Or do you miss that at all?
No, I mean, honestly, I miss students. I love working with students. I have a private yoga and meditation practice that I do with students. I do it in different people's.
Well, tell me about that. How does that
Okay,
work?
so that's, I did that on my own, in my own space. I have my yoga camp in the summer at my house. We have a big yard, so
Right.
I had that there. And then I teach it out at different gyms, whoever hires me. I'm currently working right now at a jiu-jitsu gym in Bridgewater on
Really? So
Saturday
you're actually
mornings.
able to, you can still do that, in person?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So we all wear masks,
Of course.
and we keep the students 6 feet apart.
Yep.
But it's so fun. I love doing that with the students in person. That's great. And then I teach meditation is with the yoga. So I used to do separate, like kids meditation classes and then kids yoga. Now I just sort of combine it most recently. But so I love working with students. I'm not sure that I'll be a guidance counselor. It's been a long time.
Right.
I like the work I'm doing now privately with students too. I do see one-on-one students for
really?
counseling. Yeah.
Where do you see them?
At my house.
Really?
Yeah, my
Okay, are
home
you talking
office.
about like school-age kids?
Yep.
Okay, and the
Yep.
parents send them to you, is that
Yep.
it? Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So you don't,
Yeah.
so it sounds like you're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we work, when I can work with someone on my own one-on-one, there's a lot of stuff that I can do that I could never do in a school. Just have
That's right.
So as a guidance counselor, you don't really have that time.
Right.
You're doing a lot of
Yeah, 'cause
scheduling,
you get so many
teaching.
people you're seeing,
Yeah.
right.
So this allows me to really spend time one-on-one with students, even small groups. I had small groups before COVID too, of 2 or 3 students.
Wow.
Just teaching them coping techniques, talking about thoughts, how thoughts create the reality that we're experiencing, looking at how you become the observer of your own mind, stuff like that we are working on with students. So
when are you going to write your first book? Or how to?
well, I had my Stress Less for Student Success book, but I need to get that back up and running. I have to print that for my next part of my thing that I'm doing with my speaking programs. So
Yeah, 'cause
that's important.
I could see you, creating a book that's going to
Yeah.
sell like hotcakes.
Oh, thanks, Harrison.
based on-
You're so good. I wish all you said was true. That's great.
Well, that's true.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, we'll see. Right now, Harrison, I'm really going deep into learning about the brain
Okay.
and how it works
Well,
for.
is this like kind of a medical course you're taking somewhere?
No,
Or you
not
just
medical.
doing research?
Yeah, research. And
Gotcha.
just it's more about like looking at the essence of who we really are and the truth of who we really are, and then how those thoughts, like how we're all very similar in our thinking, how the automatic thoughts come on to us for depression, anxiety,
Right.
any of the things, especially with my student base. I feel like they need a little bit of assistance just learning mindfulness and all of those things that help us become the observer rather than caught up in it.
I understand. So what you're saying is, if you're better off being an observer of your own situation than being caught up, because then you can look at it objectively and you're not a victim of your own misgivings or whatever.
Absolutely. Which,
Okay.
see how you said that, it sounds perfect and like so easy, but it takes work to kind of see it and get it, and not even get it, but feel it, feel
Yeah.
the difference of what it's like to be the observer than it is to be all caught up
Well, that's
in
advice I can definitely take, to the next level for myself.
it. Yeah.
In a
we
way,
we all can,
Right, yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
And I have been doing it with the show. If someone who's on the autism scale and being able to do the show like the way I'm able, it's pretty incredible as well.
Absolutely.
But that's just me talking. But anyway, so going forward, what does the future look like once we get normal in the COVID thing again? Do you have any plans to expand anywhere? Let me ask you this: have you ever done any like conferences with people that do the things that you're doing?
Oh yeah, many.
How far what's the furthest you've traveled to do them?
Oh, I
Any
think
of them?
probably my furthest one was Pennsylvania.
You did travel to Pennsylvania. Wow. Okay, well that's Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was really great. That
It looks
was
like the QVC thing is a done deal.
I'd still love to do that. Can't you see me doing products on QVC? I would love every second of it. I just love people, and I love talking to people.
Have you ever done anything? Ever sold anything on eBay?
No.
Well, I'm going to suggest something. I always try to give. You're my sister-in-law, and I love you and all that. But you're also a guest on my show, and what I do with every guest is I try to give them ideas that will behoove them down the line.
That's a good idea.
When I used that word with Vinny Paz, he thought it was hilarious. So what I'm going to suggest to you is, why don't you start selling stuff on eBay, presenting it, doing your own videos, because people have done very well on eBay. When I was selling my book, I did pretty well, as you know, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
But
you
I
did.
tried, but I wanted to, get it out on a wider scale. So I met this woman in Stoughton who sold stuff on eBay. She got a lot of views, but she didn't get any sales for me. But the difference is that if you're selling stuff for yourself, you get a lot better results than if you're trying to sell for someone else. You cut out the middle person, and then using your own skills as a presenter, you could probably, do very well with that.
Yeah.
You just gotta get, you gotta just put it together and then take it to the next level.
Yeah.
That might be something to consider down the line, and you could do it all online, so there's no problem with the COVID anyway.
Right.
Even if
right.
it's not out, even if it's not fixed yet. So
I think there are so many people now that see that they can do so much from home with COVID.
Right.
You know, people can work from home now, which is so great, and then people can do like all this speaking stuff is turning. All my speaker friends are all doing it virtually. So
Right.
I think that may be the wave. But there really is nothing like being in an audience and having that feedback and being able to get the energy up and all of that. So you can
True.
really try hard on Zoom, but it's fun.
You know,
in
it's funny.
person.
It's funny. While we're talking, it just occurred to me. A lot of the people that do what I'm doing have have a studio audience to either inspire them or despise them, whatever. I feel better without one right now. It doesn't
You
mean
do?
at some point down the line I won't want one,
Right.
but I just feel better. Like it's just so much. The environment is so calm with just the 3 cameras,
Right.
And the other person or whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For taping, sure, I agree with you on
Yeah.
that. It's a little difficult with an audience, I think. Yeah.
Like I was thinking of
Definitely.
possibly trying public speaking, but in a way I kind of do it. But
You do, absolutely.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
But
And
like
when
I
you
s- like-
sold your book, that was huge. That was
it was not easy.
yeah.
It was not easy, but I did well.
Yeah.
And doing the show, I mean, this is my calling. Okay. And that's
it
the other
is.
thing you might want to try. You had your own show for a while, but you've been
Yeah.
so busy doing your other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you still pretty busy with Reiki readings coming up?
So you say a lot about the Reiki and stuff, but that's not really where it's at for me anymore as
Okay.
much as like, so today I did do Reiki and I did counseling with my client, but a lot of times it's coaching. So
Yeah.
I do coaching too. I teach online classes, group coaching, little small groups.
On Reiki, you mean?
No,
Oh, different.
nothing related to Reiki. This is more about empowerment.
Okay.
Learning how to live your best life by setting intentions, looking at your mind, mindfulness, all that kind of stuff that I do.
Okay.
So that's a whole other thing. That's really my best dream, is to empower people to really get the most out of life and live in the best way they can. And all of that's inspired by what I've learned from my own life,
Of course.
So, yeah.
Well, tell me about how did you learn to meditate and teach it?
So I think I just learned along the journey. Like I'd start meditating many years ago with Leslie.
Okay.
And then every other class that I've ever taken, meditation was some part of it. Then I took some intense trainings. And then,
Intense training about meditation?
Yeah.
But I thought meditation was the lack of intensity. The idea was to just relax.
well, I mean, like I would go to gurus who would have you like sitting, like, I mean, I did that. It wasn't like just, I teach guided meditation, so
Okay.
I'm guiding it. I do silent breathing, stuff like that. But this was just, we had to go into extreme silence. It was really difficult, but
Yeah.
I learned a great deal from those programs I did. But
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it
it
wasn't-
can be intense when you start because you're thinking all of a sudden you gotta just clam up and not make any noise, and you feel uncomfortable doing that.
Right.
It's a huge transition from being, especially if you're really a hyper person.
yeah.
Back in 1972, my family tried TM,
Yeah.
Transcendental.
Oh, yeah. Your
Yeah.
mother still knows her mantra.
I know they still do it. I know mine too.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to tell
Yeah,
you,
you're
but I
not
haven't
supposed
done
to
it.
tell
I haven't done it in
anybody.
almost 50 years, so it's okay. It's not a secret anymore.
Yeah, so just my in-laws are 83 and 80.
No, they're 84 and 85.
84
They're my
and 85.
parents, remember?
Okay, yeah, I thought
I should know.
I always get loopy thinking she's 83, but they meditate daily,
They
every
do.
day for
And
30
look
minutes.
how healthy they are.
I know, they're amazing,
They are.
amazing. So, yeah, if not for your mother, I sometimes wonder if I wouldn't be on this path, because I think she kind of helped me reopen the door, from
she did.
many years ago. Yeah.
Well, my parents are, very inspirational in their own way, being
Definitely.
that, they've outlived their life expectancy by quite a bit, and they're still on that path.
and they walk every day. They're amazing.
bring the dog to the
Amazing.
sheep pasture. I know.
The healthiest people I know, even in their age,
Well,
so.
Evan's pretty healthy. I'm pretty healthy.
Right.
You're pretty healthy.
Well, I know, but I'm just mean.
Oh, for their age, right.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes.
Okay.
I got a little anecdote I want to bounce off you before we
Okay.
wrap the show up. So 2 years ago, I had this girl on the show, an actress, beautiful blonde. She's only 26, but she has a mature look, but she's beautiful. She looks about in her 30s. Named Jordan Toffolo. She works with Lenny Clark in some films. So I was telling her about you, and I said she likes being comedic too. I said, "Oh, my sister-in-law JoJo, she's a Reiki master." She goes, "Oh, does that mean Reiki music?"
That's what my father used to say, the
Oh,
same
really?
thing. Oh
Okay.
yeah, all the time.
Okay.
There's memes out there too.
Okay, listen, so what I want you to do, we can give shouts out, what I do with every guest is we can give shouts out to the people that are gonna see the show, and then we'll wrap it up, just like you can say, start with Evan and Jason and my parents, obviously, I don't know if they'll watch it, but if they
We'll
do,
tell
they'll
them.
see it.
We'll tell them to watch it, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And you
So-
can say hi to your friends real quick, and then we'll wrap the show up.
Okay, hi everybody that's watching. Thanks for watching today. Thanks to my amazing husband and son and my mother-in-law. Thank you so much for turning me onto this path, almost 15 years ago. I always say that. I'm grateful to you for that, so thank you.
Great job, JoJo.
And thank you to you, my brother-in-law.
Okay,
You're
I
always
hope you
so
have-
good.
I hope you had fun with me.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so
Thank
here's
you.
one more thing, just like you want to give me those people, have them text me, and we'll get them on the
Oh
show.
yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Okay. I always ask every guest, but you already forwarded the idea, and I'll just make it happen, and
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Good, good.
All right, ready to wrap it up like we started it?
Yes.
Okay, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. Here we go. See you next time.